The Kundum festival is celebrated by the Ahanta and Nzema people, who are found in southwestern Ghana, as well as in the southeastern part of Côte d'Ivoire. It is celebrated annually in the various traditional states from August through to November.
Na yagari na yesemra we create ke orugbe iru odimakere corona ma yari metia na yekure edukundum na yemelmans ma nai baba adwunu baga kasi yakure yedi kundum idia yesake bobodene de ye de bebe mo imeye krehire ke mo kundum yari go Ghana marinu ye fe kre biera de bezebezio kundumi e wale tuwo anda ezo anda ye eba horo brofo ezo brofo yakwe judie meri me aka ne wo Ivory Coast betine se yake ye ba hehire numu a ni isake ye kan brofo ama abretumani mu akwa biera adibie oyuwa de mani mu akwa biera adibie betibare motomo na mo kan brofo mbedie Nsampa ye
Kundum Festival. There are many explanations of how Kundum came about, but all of them draw the same conclusion: the celebration of abundance. So for us, we will draw our inspiration from Ahanta folklore, which has it that Kundum originated from an occasion in Ahanta history when there was severe famine. Eventually, when the famine was over and there was plenty to eat, you could hear the loud sounds of mortars and pistols pounding food in every household. And the song went,
Kum and Dum, Kum and Dum, Kum and Dum.
So the name Kundum came to signify the evidence of much harvest, plenty, time of plenty.
Yes, the Kundum is a time of celebration. But as our ancestors celebrated this time of joy and plenty, they cleverly seized this opportunity, this period of goodwill in abundance, to settle disputes and differences. They sought to bring oneness between God's ancestors, the living and the dead, harmony. They also sought to demonstrate uniqueness of individuals. And above all, they sought to unite the community and remind everyone of the cohesion and togetherness that is demanded of all. And these objectives are still with us today. We now leave you with one Kundum song. Oh, Kundumiko. Oh, Kundumiko. Oh, Kundumiko. Fabri albo mekara, albo fulo mekara. Beti ye yakuo.
There are rich written records of the festival being celebrated over 300 years ago in Willem Bosman's book, A New and Accurate Description of the Guinea Coast, published in English around 1703. Since we know the festival was first celebrated by the Ahanta and later adopted by the Nzema people, the fact that Bosman's 17th century account records the festival being celebrated by the Nzema people in Axim makes us reasonably conclude that the festival is much, much older. Traditional state celebrates the Kundum at different times. It usually starts in the easternmost states, then moves westwards over into the Ivory Coast. It is such that, as the festival moves along, should you miss it in one district, you can celebrate it elsewhere a week or so later. In fact, there are some avid fans of the festival who followed the Kundum over several weekends, traveling from town to town to party as each traditional state's festival climaxes. Locally, it starts off at a location referred to as Siedu, which is usually on the outskirts of the town, and over a 3-week period it gradually edges its way into town. Whilst it is at Siedu, the drumming and dancing takes place only at night. This is an opportunity for novices to practice and perfect their drumming and dancing. On some nights, reed mat torches are held aloft and at intervals thrashed about, often quite wildly. It is said that this is done to frighten off bad Eventually, in the 4th and final week, the festival comes in to the midst of the town. During this week, there is a flurry of activities besides drumming and dancing. We will explore this part of the festival more a little later. During the various stages of the festival, people wear a variety of costumes, making the festival a very colorful occasion and with numerous opportunities to dress up. Some people choose to wear fancy dress or costume for comic effect, paint their faces or even disguise themselves. There is also the dress of the more official dancers known as the Abisa troops. They are adorned in beads across the upper body and accompanied by a pleated kilt with a type of peplum upper fringe. To complement their dancing, they wear around their ankles adornments known as achnikwesi, and often bells are sewn onto their kilts, which sway and create a rhythm as they dance. There are also a few days during the latter part of the festival in which royals and dignitaries put on their gorgeous traditional attire and parade around the town. On the evening after the festival and the immediate Sunday after, most people dress in dress for church services and for the many dances that take place as circular music and activities return. Festival incorporates a number of dance styles which are quite unique to the festival. For instance, during the evenings and when the festival drumming is played at its focal point, the general public participates in circumambulation of the drummers and adopt 3 or 4 different dance styles which are also dictated by the actual Kundum rhythm being played. Abisa dancers also have more elaborate and complex dances. These are powerful spectacles accompanied by rhythms they create themselves from being adorned with the bells and achnikwesi, which rattle with each of their movements. As they intensify their dancing, so do the rhythms that they create. The ensemble consists of a gong, a type of cowbell, 2 smaller drums, and a larger bass drum. All of these drums and the gong are beaten with stick. The bass drum and drummer has a most significant role as this drum dictates the pace. If observed closely, the bass drum's role is very much like a modern DJ, as they gauge the crowd and respond to them. The bass drummer can create euphoria as he responds to the crowd and either intensifies the tempo or lowers it for the moments of respite. It makes the ambience more exciting, and it is difficult to pull away from the drumming once engaged in it. Of the festival starts with a cessation of the festival activities on the final Monday. All activity returns to normal and there is no drumming or dancing. In fact, there is nothing that shows a festival is taking place. Then, at midnight, the Kundum returns, and from this time, circular music is not permitted to be played out loud. The drumming now takes place from early afternoon and through to the evening at the focal point. Every home is open, which means everyone is welcome and invited to eat at any household during this period of the festival. It is also not unusual for gifts to be exchanged. This often is in the form of modest amount of money or drinks. On the Tuesday night, the lighting of a communal fire takes place in prominent households, and with it, the roasting of abilikokole. There is a brief period of mourning and remembrance, and the people look ahead to the coming year. Traditionally, everyone within their respective parish would be obliged to take embers of this fire in order to kindle the fires in their own households. This creates a sense of community and bonding. During this week that the Durbas and royal procession take place, as is common in most festivals in Ghana. You will also find the Abisa troops go around the town dancing.
Batting line.
One of the most distinguished parts of the Kundum is the singing of ditties which openly but surreptitiously voice out grievances and disputes. These are often done with humour, and most significantly, once this matter is out in the open, it is time to forgive and forget, and should never be spoken about again. The singing is accompanied by awa, a type of rattle. These events and activities highlight that this festival has a much deeper meaning and significance than merely a frivolous merrymaking. The greetings, the reception of guests, sharing of food, gifts, and the remarkable principle of forgiving and forgetting demonstrate that this festival marks the end and beginning of a cycle, a New Year celebration, and a time of abundance. Whilst there is also a period of remembrance for the departed and ancestors, there is more emphasis on looking forward to what the year ahead will bring, a time of optimism. Clearly, this all seems pertinent to not only what the Ahanta and Nzema people are facing today, but the entire world.
Kama le yatete amamumu ebu kama bazi ebu yara avulu mbeke bi yara juwa anza avulu bi yara juwa yedi Kundum abisa nzo ne tie di abisa ne yedi yafa yaka chemo wu ama na mabadi asa nzo tie di abisa ne yedi abisa ne bo madina yebu ya ngwanda yenwe ka avura hanen ya yare die anza ya anya die yafa yatutu ho yafa yesese ho ne enwu ke avura kwa mazo wase ya yare die anza ya anya die se anya die an ye won gezo eze babu ya mamunia boni be kwa ezawon ho Kundum ne yekrama wa ke mediama alovra ma amamo ne ejamo ne mediama momo bo amanva mo ba masuun anna ya ba yesu le sara Kundum ma ba fa ko fiti me be ye no na se ko fiti be ye no an ya moti Kundum ne olde bi pare na mo ya nyane are ke oya mi mo ka ke Kundum ne re abonsan bi oni abonsan bi all be kids with the money eba yara yo ba he wa bonsan na Kundum na ka kpara obo ayo do o ma bada mo ba adrinzi bada mo ba wa adrinzi mo beta yere ye ba mara beba yenwu ya dodo ya mo ke yara ye fe bo so mo ti Kundum ne o le bi akpa na vre ona ma wure ne yati ama Kundum ne an gwozure ba ma efuzo ti e ba ya no wara e mo ma mazure ye da ba ko zo ti ase mo ko zo ti no kon avre bi akon ye to ye sa ye vre ba ko ko zo ti ba ra na ba me emamu bi ama yebura oyo ngoso obo ma abada na kwara hida ya da ba so ma na ye ba mu